According to all known laws of aviation, there is no way that a bee should be able to fly. Its wings are too small to get its fat little body off the ground. The bee, of course, flies anyway, because bees don't care what humans think is impossible.
Established in the opening narration, the film asks the audience to question the pros and cons to conforming to society, portraying the community as a quite literal hive mind, one of the many puns the writers have incorporated in this film. Early in the film, Barry proclaims that following the social norms established by his colony will not make him happy, and he takes the call to action when he leaves the hive. Barry has gone through his life in public compliance, attending bee school for 9 days, but he never held any public acceptance for the roles in society.
The same job for the rest of your life? I didn't know that.
What's the difference?
The film uses Barry's own perspective of the hive by portraying his peers as dumb just for being enthusiastic about joining the society's norms. These degrading norms are displayed in the scene where Barry and his peers are being led in a tour bus through all their future jobs that are meant to be perceived by the audience as comical. For example, there's the young bee that is wearing a hat that flicks drops of honey from one conveyor belt to another, which could be done by a stationary mechanic. You don't need a bee to do that. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Ignoring the illogical economic practices, the writers, of course, use this to show the negative portrayal of this conformity, and this in turn gets the audience to side with Barry, who now has an anti-establishment mentality, and he's able to resist the normative social influences, and this in turn makes him look like a hero to the audiences. And this idea of anti-establishment not conforming to society actually shifts towards the climax of the film, where it turns out that all the bees are miserable with their new goalless lives. They're able to have all the honey they want, and even though honey is like bee barf or something like that, it is at this time that Barry comes to realize that while society was not necessarily correct for him, and conforming wasn't for him, the majority of the people actually need society and thrive better by conforming to society's rules.
मैं अच्छा काम करना चाहता था, पर अब मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगा.
And while Barry thought that by pushing his own agenda to free the bees from the social restraints and from being being a minority influence, he had ended up forcing the bee population to conform to his own ideal society, and in the end he realizes that he's actually able to make himself a part of the society. In a way, he has of course changed the society, but in many ways it goes back to its original way, and he finds happiness by creating a new way he can contribute to the society. But pushing Barry aside, the film also explores how a shift in a class status and how the previous society's perception of that class is intertwined. Arguably the climax, a film with many climaxes, especially In My Pants, when Barry wins the bees their natural rights, the movie does an interesting job in portraying the transition of a bee's social status from that of an animal to a human. A good example is Vanessa's boyfriend Ken, who originally wanted to murder Barry because he was allergic to bees. As a character, he shows belief, perseverance that bees are still not equal.
Why is your life any more valuable than mine?
That's funny, I just can't seem to recall that! I think something stinks in here!
And thus, he is shunned by society. So the film villainizes Ken, and this overall adds an element to the common theme of change in society, and explains that those that don't change to society will be punished. The film's harsh villainization of Ken shows the creator's disdain for members of society that are unable to change according to society's new norms. In many ways, the Bee Movie is the perfect film. It has the chuckles, it has the action, and it has the heart, and it really makes for a great conversation piece with a glass of wine. Perhaps afterwards, go separate ways, write your essays, and then come back and question your peers on some provoking questions like the legitimacy of social conformity, the pros and cons of reformation, and the often polarizing response of class restructuring. That has been my psychological analysis of the Bee Movie. I would definitely be open to coming back to the film, as it is always a fantastic Monday night to watch the Bee Movie again with my pals Ben and Jerry. I'd like to thank you for joining me this evening. I apologize for the switch in language, but these are the only video clips I could find. Like and subscribe if you made the Bee Movie and your name is Jerry Seinfeld. Thank you for watching, and until next time.